Welcome to the CITES Online Applications Trading video. We hope you will find using the new CITES Online Application Service easy to use, whether you are used to applying for CITES permits and certificates or whether you are applying for the first time. This training video is for anyone wanting to apply online for a CITES permit to export or re-export animal and plant species listed on the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, known as CITES. If you are not sure if you need a CITES permit or certificate, there is help on the gov.uk website. To check if you need a CITES permit or certificate to import, export or re-export species listed on CITES, go to www.gov.uk/CITES-imports-and-exports. To check if you need an Article 10 certificate for the commercial use of CITES listed species, go to www.gov.uk/guidance/certificates-4-endangered-species-for. In this video, we will show you how to use the CITES online service to apply for a CITES export or re-export permit. If you have not applied for a CITES permit or certificate before and need help with setting up your Government Gateway account or starting the application process, please go to our Starting Your CITES Application video. We assume you have watched our Starting Your CITES Application video and are ready to complete your application. We are now going to take you through how to make an application for a CITES export or re-export permit. It is very important that you complete in full all the pages of the online application form. Not doing so may delay your application. In this video, we will refer to CITES listed species, items, goods, animals or plants as specimens. We also recommend watching our video on CITES documentary evidence, which explains in more detail the types of documentary evidence you need to provide in support of your CITES applications so that your application can be processed more efficiently. Before starting your application, you will need the following information to hand: the full name and address of the UK exporter. These are your details or the details of the person or business you are applying on behalf of. The full name and address of the importer. These are the details of the person or business you are exporting the items to. Details of the specimen or item or specimens or items you are wishing to export or re-export, including the quantity or number of specimens, details of any unique markings, such as closed rings or microchips, the exact scientific or Latin name of the CITES listed species you wish to export or re-export. To find the scientific name, if you do not know it, you can do an internet search using the commonly used name for the species. For example, Gyrfalcon. The scientific name for Gyrfalcon is Falco rusticolus. You can also check for the scientific name and CITES listing on the Species Plus website. If possible, you will also need the CITES Appendix listing and the GB Annex listing for the species being exported or re-exported. The source code and purpose code of the item. These details can be found on the Permit Application Guidance document online at www.gov.uk//publications/endangered-species-application-4-import-and-export-permit. You will also need your bank card to pay the CITES processing fee. If you do not know whether it is an export permit or a re-export permit you need to apply for, you need to apply for an export permit if the specimen you are moving from the UK was bred, for live animals, cultivated for plants, or originated in the UK, and this is the first time it is being moved out of the UK. You need to apply for a re-export permit if the specimen you are moving from the UK was bred for live animals, cultivated for plants, or originated in another country outside the UK, or the origin of the specimen is unknown, for example, in the case of pre-convention antiques. Once you have chosen the export or re-export permit option and entered and confirmed the UK applicant and delivery addresses as demonstrated in the Starting Your CITES application video, the service will take you to the next page and ask you to enter the scientific name of the species you are applying for. There is a link to the Species Plus website if you need to check the scientific name of the species you are applying for. For the purposes of this training video, we are going to apply for an export permit to export a live gyrfalcon. The scientific name for gyrfalcon is Falco rusticolus. Once you have entered the scientific name of the species you are applying for, click Save and Continue. Once you have confirmed the scientific name of the species, you will be asked for the source code for the species you are applying for. Source code O for pre-convention is applied to all specimens which were originally acquired before the species was listed in the CITES appendices. The cut-off date for pre-convention status will vary according to the date the species was first listed on CITES on any appendix. For example, the African grey parrot was listed in 1976, Brazilian rosewood was listed in 1992, and the electric blue gecko was listed in 2017. For the purposes of this training video, we are exporting a live gyrfalcon captive bred in the UK, so we have chosen source code C for captive bred. Click Save and Continue. Once you have confirmed the source code, you will be asked for the purpose code for the species you are applying for. For the purposes of this training video, we are exporting a live gyrfalcon captive bred in the UK, so we have chosen source code C for captive bred and purpose code T for commercial, because the applicant is exporting a live falcon that they have sold to someone in the United Arab Emirates. Click Save and Continue. The service will then ask you what best describes the specimen. We would click on a living animal, as this time we are applying for an export permit for a live falcon. Click Save and Continue. The service will then ask you about applying for multiple specimens. We recommend separate permits for each specimen. This can make re-exporting or onward distribution easier. Once you have completed this application for a single specimen, you can make copies of it for any additional specimens, then submit the applications together. For the purposes of this video, we are applying for an export permit for one single live falcon, so we have selected the No, Continue this application for one specimen button. Click Save and Continue. You will then be asked if the specimen has any unique identification marks. As the live falcon we are exporting has a closed ring number, we are selecting the Yes button. Once you have made your selection, click Save and Continue. As we have selected Yes, the service takes us to the Add Unique Identification Marks page. Select the type of mark and enter the mark number or reference for each of the specimens you are applying for. As you can see, we have selected mark type closed ring and entered the closed ring number 123456X in the box provided. If the specimen is uniquely marked in more than one way, for example with a closed ring and a microchip, select the Add Another Mark button to enter those details. Once you have entered the unique identification mark details, click Save and Continue. The service will then ask you to describe the specimen. As you can see here, we are applying for a male falcon, hatched the 2nd of June 2023, wearing close ring number 123456X. The service also asks you to provide the parent details of the specimen you are applying for if applicable. Once you have entered all the details requested, click Save and Continue. You will then be asked for the importer full name and address details in the country you are exporting to. It is very important the exporter and importer details match on both the export and import permits to avoid any issues when the permits are presented for endorsement at the borders. For the purposes of this video, we have entered some fake importer details to demonstrate. Once you have entered the importer's details, click Save and Continue. The service will then invite you to enter any additional information that may support your application. You can also enter an internal reference or code associated with this application. This can be a unique identifier or reference used in your business or organization to make tracking your CITES applications easier. Once you have entered any additional information, click Save and Continue. On this page, you will be able to see a summary of your application. If there are any details that need to be amended, click on the Change link in the appropriate section. This will take you back to the relevant page to make your amendments. Click Confirm and Continue once you are happy with the summary of your application. On this page, you will see a one-line summary of your application. At this point, you have the option to remove or delete your application, copy your application if you wish to make another similar application. For example, if we wanted to make another application to export a live falcon bred in the UK to the UAE, or continue if you have finished your application and wish to go ahead. Assuming you are happy, click Continue. The service will then give you another opportunity to add another application by copying the last application, add an application for a new species, or complete your application and proceed to the Upload Supporting Documents step. In this training video, we wish to complete the application for exporting one live GIR falcon and proceed to the next step. Click Continue. The service will then invite you to upload any documents in support of your application. You must upload any documents in support of your application at this point. For a live falcon, this could be copies of the parent Article 10 certificates, or a copy of the Article 10 certificate for the live falcon being exported, as it is now a requirement for live Annex A species to have a valid Article 10 certificate before an export permit can be issued. For an antique, you must provide evidence, such as an invoice or receipt, to evidence that you acquired the item legally and that it was imported into the UK legally if you are applying to re-export. Once you have uploaded the supporting documents, click Save and Continue. Once you have completed the information on each page, you will come to the Declarations page. If you wish to add any further documents or make amendments at this stage, click the backlink at the top left corner of the page. However, if you are happy you have completed all the information and supplied the relevant supporting documents, read the declarations. If you agree with the declarations and are happy to submit your application, click Agree and Submit. Once you have submitted your application, you will be taken to the payment page, where you will be provided with the CITES permit processing fee amount and asked whether you want to pay for your application immediately or whether you want to save the application but pay later. If you select Yes, you will be taken to your account page to pay the fee. If you select No, Pay Later, your application will not begin to be processed until you have paid the relevant fee. Please select the Pay Later option if you have a valid CITES fee waiver. As you can see here, the amount to pay for the export application in this video is £63, which is the standard fee to process one CITES export application for a single live falcon. If you have opted for your permit to be sent by Royal Mail Special Delivery, then one of the CITES team will contact you with the total amount you need to pay. Remember, your application will not begin to be processed until you have paid the relevant fee. Once submitted, you will receive an application reference number and a summary of what happens next with your application. The reference number is not a CITES permit number. It is a reference number that refers to your submitted application so you can track its progress. It also provides a link to your CITES account where you can pay for your application and check the progress of your application once you have paid. Click Go to your account. Once in your account, you will see a list of your applications and their status. To pay for your application, click on the submission number. We are selecting submission reference H4K1Z494. This will confirm the amount you need to pay. Click on the Pay Now link, and this will take you to the card payment page, which will ask you to provide your card details, your billing address, and your contact details. Once you have paid for your application, click the Sign Out link at the top of the page in the center and sign out of your account securely. That is the end of this CITES Online Applications training video. We hope it has been helpful. More information about which ports and airports you can use to move your CITES specimens can be found at www.gov.uk/guidance/trading-cites-listed-specimens-through-UK-ports-and-airports. If you are dealing in or intend to deal in ivory, go to www.gov.uk/dealing-in-items-containing-ivory-or-made-of-ivory to find out what you need to do. Thank you.